bring together an immersive opportunity for the community. And it wasn't just to showcase the shoe, right? It is to cultivate the community in the city and what that looks like for the athlete's foot and the spirit of the city.
What kind of gave you that confidence to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go, and if it doesn't work out, it's not go back home. It's like, shoot, I gotta go out to LA then.
Plan A, plan B, plan C. My dad always told me you have to plan your work and work your plan. At the end of every turmoil, failure, whatever, it's always a lesson. The sooner you learn that lesson, the sooner you can deliver yourself from it.
Welcome back to the Working While Black Show, your go-to resource for career growth and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Walter Gaynor II, and today our guest is Cassidy Dansberry. She's a marketing manager and strategist at the Athlete's Foot, and she joined me today to talk about taking bold risks in your career, navigating corporate spaces as a Black woman, and the work that she and the Athlete's Foot are doing to create impactful events in local communities. So if you're ready to learn how to be proactive about your own career, then pay close attention because we're getting started right now. Cassie, your journey has been amazing. I was checking out the different roles you've had, and I just always love to see when someone is kind of started off with an internship and was able to just continue to grow through all these different journeys. And I read that you actually kind of took a big risk early on in your career, and from where I'm sitting, it looked like it paid off, but we always talk about these things. It looks like overnight success, but that it's not the case. I know there's probably sleepless nights. There was man, what am I doing? So can you talk to us a little bit about the beginning of your career and some of the decisions you made to go from an intern to being, marketing manager at the Athlete's Foot?
For sure. I think an internship is actually the perfect place to start because I'm not sure if this is the risk you're talking about, but this is definitely the risk that changed my life. And definitely, I would say, really molded me and shaped me to who I was today. And it was studying abroad to London. So I actually went to the American Intercontinental University, London, and for fashion, for marketing. So that's what I went to school for. But the reason why I chose to go there, which is actually we were about to go into it before we got on this call, is because I'm from St. Louis. I'm born and raised from St. Louis. Love my city, love my town. Shout out to Lulu. But I did recognize for what I wanted to do, what I wanted to become, and early on that I needed to give myself the opportunity to have a worldview. In worldview, of course, the fashion capital of the U.S. is New York, followed by L.A. and Dallas, of course. But when it comes to fashion and where it started, it's London, right? When it comes to inspiration and those designers and those couture houses and what's moving the needle and where we're all inspired from, a lot of that comes from over there. So for me, it's always important, just like anything when you're learning, is to start from the source, start from the root, and to actually immerse yourself. Give yourself the opportunity to immerse yourself in the history of it all. So I felt that it was super important for me to go to London, one, because it was drastic, right? Complete culture shock. But then also, it fulfilled a little bit of my childhood, to go to London. Just a little quick side bit of people always ask me what's my fashion? What are my fashion influences, or what where did it all start? Because I'm kind of all over the place. I'm very versatile when it comes to my style. I'm literally wearing a man's cardigan right now, and I just love to mix and match things.
Hey, you're killing it.
Thank you. But it started with the Spice Girls. It was a Spice World movie. I don't know if you watched that, but the Spice World movie came out, and that truly just sparked something in me. Wow, this is bigger than America. It's bigger than St. Louis, bigger than my closet right now. And I want to see that. I want to go after that. I want to see that. I want to see what that looks like. And so that followed me, and that stayed with me. So when that opportunity presented itself to go to London, I jumped on it. And then I actually went to London twice. The second time I went to London for school, I actually landed that internship at WGSN. I went into it thinking I wanted to be a trend forecaster. So, or school in general, I wanted to be a trend forecaster. I was interested in being, merchandise coordinator for a magazine, a periodical, and WGSN is perfect. So it's a leading trend forecasting company in the world. Wow. And yeah, so it was super awesome to have that opportunity to actually work in the menswear trend department. And so that's I would say that where the second advancement of my love for menswear or fashion and industry came from. I would say the first is because I'm actually the only girl on both sides of my family growing up. I was, so of course, lots of guys around. So again, I with the men's clothes, I'm with the going outside, getting rough and tumble and scraping my knees and all that. So I always had that greediness to me, if you will. So doing that, embarking on that journey to go to London, to do it for myself and to know that I had a purpose behind, not just, oh, I want to go travel London. No, I'm out here because I want to learn a business. I want to see what big business looks like. I want to see what couture looks like. I want to see how the other side of the world actually does this. So when I take it back, I have a blueprint or image of where I want my companies or my businesses or the type of experiences that I want to have, what they can grow into. And then from there, taking that experience, bringing it back to, I guess, the US, if you will. Like I said, it changed me. It completely changed me. It made me more independent. It made me, because I was over there by myself 2 times for 2.5 months, it put that greediness in me. It put that, I got to get it done in me. And so with that being said, it brought me into, of course, advancing careers from merchandising, which was my first degree, going back to school and starting an entrepreneurial journey, and going to my second degree in marketing, and advertising and digital marketing management. Because I wanted to do more for myself and be able to really understand business and understand marketing and how to amplify yourself. And one really cool key thing that stuck with me through my original marketing journey was when I was going out for jobs, right? I was about to graduate, going out for jobs. I got this cool opportunity for one of my professors. He saw a light in me. So he chose me to go to, again, from St. Louis, chose me to go to Chicago for this really cool, workshop, if you will, for marketing. And I remember one of the sessions, someone said, like, if you can do it for yourself, you can do it for anybody else. So if you want to be in branding, if you want to be in marketing, if you want to be in fashion design, if you want to be in whatever it is, like if you can do it for yourself, if you can amplify your personal brand, if you can amplify your personal mission, you can do it for anyone else. And so I really took that to heart. And so every position, every role that I advanced to outside of college, I really said to myself, like, it has to be, obviously, I don't want just a job for a job. Like, I want passion projects, I want purpose. And so I made sure that it was always to my development and to like what I went to school for. So if I creatively speak in merchandising, if it is in marketing, it's got to be that. But it can't just be a job. It has to be creative. It has to be something that is impactful, which is part of, again, increasing my journey, advancing here to Atlanta was a journey for me. It was actually a quick decision. I know some plan, and yeah, it was super quick. It was something that I'm a very spiritual person, so I definitely prayed about, and just said that whatever comes to me in this moment, I'm just going to take it and run with it, because I was at that time, I was in that moment, in that space, if you know what I mean. And so I was just like, we about to take, you said a huge risk, we just gonna make a shake. I got the download that I need to go ahead and move to Atlanta. And literally 2 weeks later, I was in Atlanta. 2 weeks later, I was in Atlanta. First year of Atlanta was crazy. I moved like 5 different times. But then
you had a job at the time?
I did not.
Oh, so you just jumped.
I literally, that was the biggest risk of my life. I had a job in St. Louis. I went on vacation to Aruba, which is one of my spot, my family spots. We go there quite a bit. Very spiritual place for me. So went to Aruba, had the conversation, like I said, I was praying or whatever. And literally 2 weeks after I touched back down in St. Louis, I was moved to Atlanta because I was ready for a new start, ready for a change. I was not going to turn 30 in St. Louis. I said I was not going to turn 30, having not jumped off the porch or given myself the opportunity that I wanted, whether it be in expanding my professional career, my personal endeavors. I just knew that I needed to be in a different space of inspiration to be able to accelerate the things and the goals that I had, and just give myself the opportunity to do so. And I recognized Atlanta as the place to do so. Obviously, being a mecca for so many, fashion, entertainment, sports, medical education. You can literally name it, but then it's just also the immersiveness and embraciveness of people. And before moving here, I had friends and family that lived here. So I was afforded the opportunity to be able to, drive down and visit and party and kick it and see what the experience is. But of course, experiencing it on vacation is different from experiencing it living here. So like I said, that first year of living here of Atlanta, of course it was hard. It's tough. It's a new area. It's a new space. You got to find your community. You got to find your people. You got to find your favorite spot to eat. Okay, you got to find your favorite park to pull up to go take a stroll. I love walking. I love being outside. So that's really important to me, to find somewhere safe to be and be able to, like I said, take those creative strolls. So, and I told myself I'm a goal-oriented person. If I said it, I meant it type of thing. So I told myself, you got 3 years. You got 3 years to make a shake in Atlanta. It's my first year jumping off the porch. 3 years, make a shake in Atlanta. And then we're going to see what happens next if it's not here. And literally going into my 3rd year is when I actually landed this role with the athlete's foot. So, wow. Yeah, literally.
Right on time.
Right on time, because I was ready to go ahead to LA. And
not back home, but just to a whole other beast.
No, it was never an option. It's never an option to fall back. It's
what
never
kind of
an
give
option.
You that confidence to just be like, yeah, I'm gonna go, and if it doesn't work out, it's not go back home. It's like, sure, I gotta go out to LA then.
Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. My dad always told me you have to plan your work and work your plan. Right. So if you ever fall on hard times, hard mental, struggles or whatever it is, you got to plan your work and work your plan, because at the end of every turmoil, failure, whatever, it's always a lesson. Right. And so the sooner, and I always believe this, even when I'm going through, right? The sooner you learn that lesson, the sooner you can deliver yourself from it. Right. The sooner you can be free from it, you can focus clearly and really be able to move forward on what you need to move forward on. So, no, not falling back, not falling back. I could touch back home, say what's up to the folk or whatever. But it's good to know that home is there and that I will be embraced if I ever need to. But as I said, I was not, got to see what I'm made of after 29. I'm not crossing 30 here. I'm not crossing 30 in my head was not just here in this physical space. It was more so here mentally, here spiritually. I will never go back to this person. I will never go back to this way of being. I will never go, I can't be this person anymore because, I have my dreams. I want to elevate. I want to, I'm very goal oriented and, not going back.
Not going back.
No, man, like Jocelyn. Not going back. I'm not going back.
Man, okay, that's what's up. Congratulations on that. And also, we gotta, if Keith Lee ever comes back, it sounds like he's got to talk to you for some actual recommendations.
He needs to come through because I was very disappointed in that analysis.
Yeah, all the wrong spots. Man, okay,
or
so
maybe or the wrong things.
Or the wrong things. You're right. It's easy to go wrong. It's easy to go wrong. So those 3 years in Atlanta, were you unemployed? Were you doing random things? Like what was those 3 years like for you?
So I was not completely unemployed. It was definitely an in and out thing. Again, I had literally quit a job and decided to come right out here, right? So I wasn't employed for, let's say, a minute, but I did have savings. I was fiscally responsible there. But I also was an entrepreneur, So I was able to, in that first year, actually go back and forth between St. Louis and Atlanta to be able to still take up some of those roles as a stylist and as a creative director and personal brander. So I was able to do those things. But then also it was just smaller, odd jobs. The good thing about what I would say the space that I'm in is as a strategist, people were actually coming to me, or I would go put myself in spaces. The type of services that I provided allowed me to be in spaces that was always in need. Marketing is always in need. Creative direction is always in need. Styling is always in need. And I will say, just a note, that styling carried me through that pandemic because people were going through their wardrobes, buying new stuff, just really trying to get through spring cleaning or whatever. And that definitely held me down. So I was doing things like that. I'm an artist as well. So I was painting. I was going to different shows. But then also just sharpening my skills. I was working with creative agencies, modeling agencies, PR agencies as well on the creative side. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like if you if you're building your personal brand, when you're building yourself up, and even like to prepare for a career, if you can do it for yourself, you can do it for other people. So I truly believe that is what helped me, one, for connections and networking, but then also preparing me for this role, because a lot of what I do in this role is creative directive. So I do the creative direction for the stores, the videos that you see, you do brand partnerships, the events, of course, like the Nothing Beats the City activation, things of that nature. And of course, project management goes along with that. But working with modeling agencies, right? Creating all the creative, working with all the models, working with all the photographers and videographers. That certainly helped me, for this role, right? And also creating my portfolio to be able to do it for myself and having the work to show for it. And then also just being able to do it for yourself and just showing the work and showing and having that proof of concept is really what helped.
Yeah, I loved what you were saying, because right now I think the past 2 years it's like from layoffs to it's just like this job market's kind of crazy. It's sometimes a little toxic. I had someone on earlier who's been Aaliyah Jones, who's been working on actually it's kind of funny, she was in retail and fashion as well, but she's been looking for jobs for a while, but she took to LinkedIn to start posting content about the stuff she does and kind of talking about her job updates in a comedic way. And it's like she's kind of built a following, and now people are kind of seeing what she was able to do there and doing it for others as well. So I kind of like that, like hearing kind of what you're doing in between jobs to stay afloat, because it's hard and it feels like you could be in just lost, not knowing where to go when you get those rejection emails, like nothing's really working out. You're like, okay, let me see what I could do for me. I love that.
I think just to add to that, I think that is how you holding on to those extra things, because your job is your job, right? You're here for it, as we moved here for. But I think having those extra things, and I don't even like calling them hobbies, I call them extensions to your personality, right? And I feel like that is really what it allows you, or has allowed me to stay grounded and in navigating this journey, being in a new space. When you think about, just a simple, I won't even call it simple because it's not hard, it's not simple, but making new friends, right? In a new city where you don't know anybody, making new friends is challenging, whether you're introvert or extrovert. But I think the best thing that you can do is surround yourself with people who are like-minded, who have the similar interest with you, right? So surrounding yourself there, immersing yourself in those environments, and then just speaking up and being present and just showing what you can do, or helping out, going into like with the intern mentality almost when you're entering new spaces, I think can be helpful, or just if people are receptive. And I think that was the best thing, or one of the best things that happened here in Atlanta. People are receptive. The city is the city, but when it comes to working or trying to get things done, or if you want to put this together, people, let's put this together. You see, everybody's kind of on the hustle and grind trying to come up. So, you meet those certain pockets of people who, this, I think all right. Maybe my people, I can get jiggy with them, and just get some work done. So it helps to have your space, and then to recognize, again, those extensions of your personality. I love fashion. I love art, so I'm going to go to the fashion shows. I'm going to go to all the museum openings, the gallery openings, especially the low-key ones. Those are the best ones, right? Then I'm going to I'm not an outside type of girl, so I don't go to clubs and bars. But again, like I'll go to an opening, I'll go to a networking event, a vendor event, or something like that. Things that make sense, because partying don't make, it's cool for the entertainment people, but to me, on a day-to-day partying and having to wake up in the morning to do the job, that was a key thing when I first moved here. I'm like, you guys will go out a lot. Do you have a job? Y'all be working? Y'all go to work.
These are the questions. How? Yeah. How are you there every week?
Yeah, every day.
That's real. I think that's one of the things that attracted me to Atlanta, was like just seeing all the different lifestyles that are there, and like being outside for one person can mean something completely different. Being outside for somebody else, like different types of outsides and everything. So I feel that. All right, y'all. We are going to take a break, but we come back and dig into just a little bit more about your journey, and then a few questions about some of the events that you're doing in the city of Atlanta too. But we'll be right back. let me introduce you to what might become your new best friend. All right. It's an app called Notion. I started using it because I felt like I was juggling way too much, right? From personal projects, work, podcasting, budgeting. It was just like way too much. But Notion has become a game changer for me. All right. It's an all-in-one workplace that allows me to plan, write, organize, and collaborate with ease. And essentially, I like to say it takes the chaos in my mind and puts it in one place where I can streamline my whole entire workflow. So if you want to check it out, check the comments, the description. There's a link where you could go ahead and set up your free trial and check it out today. All right, now back to the show. We're back, y'all. Cassie, I've been loving hearing about your journey so far. It's inspiring. It's getting me excited to just do more. Like, okay, let me see what else I could do for me so I could do for others. But question for you, you've had a lot of really cool experiences working in places where I think for a lot of people, you wouldn't expect to see a lot of Black people or even Black women. And, part of the reason I created the show is because early in my career, I was feeling discouraged. Like I was getting advice on how to navigate stuff, but not from the perspective of a Black person. And that's, one reason I wanted to create this show. It's like the show's E for everybody, but it's really is centered in the Black experience. So I'm really curious from going all the way out to UK to moving to Atlanta. Like what has your experiences been in this field as a Black woman?
I think that they are aligned with what you said, but I find it, it's beautiful because I look at everything, again, I mentioned earlier, like, you just have to find a lesson in it, right? And I think that it presents itself as an armor and it also presents itself as a magic wand, So it's just like, it's beauty in it because we have a natural swag, a natural finesse, a natural calling, if you will, for the creatives. And I think that is what actually aligns us to be powerful. Our view is unique. Our struggle is unique. Our style, our fashion is unique. The way we speak is unique. It's embracive of the accents that we grew up in our environment. And I think that I've been able to use that as a way to amplify myself, whether it be creatively or as a stylist or creative director, right? The challenge to that is, of course, because it makes you unique, it also makes you stand out, right? Mm-hmm. So, and maybe not all the times in the best ways, or we would say best ways in environments that are not used to seeing or showing up in. So what I may consider to be a normal day, or just me, I'm just not tripping off of today. I'm just gonna have a cool little light day and wear my fro out. Could be considered controversial still, I've been questioned about my fro, in the corporate space, how long are you going to have your hair like that? What's the next style? Or are you doing something to your hair? Like I thought it was great. I thought it looked cute. It was all fluffy and she flowing today, but those spaces and just, just having to explain yourself sometimes, your way of being, or I'm okay just because I'm not smiling, giggling, or whatever, doesn't mean I'm in a bad mood. Mm-hmm. I'm totally working, I'm direct, I'm getting it done, I'm moving, showing up. So I think that what's made it difficult, and I'm sure you can agree, is we understand our tones and our movements and innuendos and just being cool, relaxed, whatever, but it doesn't translate, And so it's the whole, what they call it, the code switching. You gotta be able to, against us in a way, be on show, be on stage, all the time, because unfortunately, when you're not smiling and when you're not communicating in a happy or bubbly way, even though you're fine, it's not perceived that way. Mm-hmm. It's received as if, unfortunately, we're upset, we're angry, we're hard to work with. We don't like somebody, like it's perceived negatively, where if it was coming from another, inside the entity, it would be fine, it'd be fine. So yeah. It's been interesting to navigate, but I think that again, it's a learning. It's all about learnings. It's all about developing. It's all about growing. It's all about what was the goal. You know, what did I come into it for? Staying grounded in that. Again, I knew, you know, it's the building block, right? It's everything is going to sharpen my skill, character. And you have to look at everything like that because everything happens for a reason, right? There's no coincidences. Everything happens for a reason. So because if I believe that, then I got to believe this that I'm going through is a part of that. And so I have to find a lesson to get through it, to get to the next hill. So, you know,
so what would you say like one of those lessons are? Because and that's because, like, you know, people, there's always like the debate, like when you are confronted with whether it's a microaggression or just people just being a little too in your business or perceiving you incorrectly and kind of acting out about it. There's always like debate, like, do I like confront it? Do I let it go? Do I like go, you know, just in like, how do I confront it? Do I want to do it? There's like all these different choices you have to make within like a second. And then sometimes we don't always feel great with those choices afterwards. But as you've kind of gone through this journey, and then for you as well, I don't think there's a perfect answer to this, but like, what are one of the things that you found has kind of helped you to just feel a little bit better about yourself and how you kind of operate?
That is a great question. Definitely experienced this for sure. I would say, I think at the end of the day, the beginning and the end of the day, right? You have to know who you are, you know? And we hear that when we're kids growing up, being bullied, you know, being slandered or just, you know, rumors and all of that. You just have to know who you are. You have to know that you're a good person. You have to know that you're doing your best. You have to know that you know that you wanted to be here, you know, and you have to know that you're doing things for the purpose. So I feel like when you're dealing with those microaggressions or you're dealing with those things, it's just, it is hard to navigate what to do. You want to stand up for yourself. You want to make sure your name is clean. You want to keep doing a good job. But I think that depending on the scenario, you should. But again, I think that it's less about proving who you are and then just showing up as who you are, you know, and that's from knowing who you are. So if I keep showing up as my best self, if I keep putting out my best work, if I keep, you know, executing at a high level, and if I keep, you know, I have to sleep with me, you know, I have to go to sleep and I have to know that I entered and exited every situation with grace, you know, and if I feel like I did my best, if I know that I didn't leave anything on the floor, you know, you just have to be like, listen, I know who I am. I know what I did. Perception is a one-way street.
Ooh.
You know, but I'm me. I'm going to keep smiling. I'm going to smile when I leave. You know, I leave here. I smile when I wake up in the morning. I have so many things to be grateful for. And I know who I am. So if you perceive me something differently, then I feel that, you know, that's a you thing.
You know, I don't believe there's like a right answer, especially to these questions, but I love that answer. I love that, man. You got quotables on quotables, man. All right, so I'd love to hear about some of the, you know, also I just want to say I really love what you were saying about, you know, being Black is like armor and a magic wand as well, because there's like so many different ways to look at it. And I think kind of like what you're saying about kind of being grounded in who you are, kind of knowing yourself. That's a big piece of it. I think that was part of my journey, feeling less discouraged and less of imposter syndrome has been this journey of getting to know myself a little bit more and how I want to, you know, show up in the workplace. So, man, loving it. So, question for you, just looking at your whole journey thus far, I think you've already kind of given this a little bit, but I still want to ask, what would you say has been your kind of cheat code to standing out and growing in your career?
I have 2 quotes in my head that I keep and I hold them, and yeah, that's all I got. So, I mean, I have more, but you know what I mean. It's like, it's what I got. It's the 2 things. So one is a quote from Maya Angelou: "Ain't nothing to it but to do it." You want to do it? Then do it. You want to complain? Then complain. But at the end of the day, whatever you do is what you're choosing. Whatever you don't do, you're also choosing, right? So ain't nothing to it but to do it. The other side of that, and this helped me right here through college. Okay. Get through those reports and papers and 30-page long thesis. Listen, I refuse to fail. I absolutely refuse to fail. Whatever that looks like, if that means 48 hours no sleep, that means I'm drinking 3 espressos back to back to back. If that means I have to do it all myself, it's, whatever it is, it's a lot to hold. But guess what? I refuse to fail. So that's my thing.
That could be the name of your autobiography, your memoir.
Memoir. Okay, talk to me. Speaking to the...
Refuse to fail.
Refuse to fail. And that's truly what it is.
Mm-hmm. I'm noticing a pattern in your career. I think those 2 quotes, like, I don't know when you first kind of really felt them and kind of stuck with it, but I can see how they've shown up in your career all the way up until now, and also, in your future endeavors too.
Yeah.
Love that. All right. Well, I'm going to take one more break, and we get back. Now I'm really, really excited to talk to you about some of the things that you've been doing. Because a lot of people who are in these, industries, they get to, do stuff to help with the company growth. But you're doing things that are not just helping with the company, but also helping the community as well. So after this break, we'll dive into everything you're doing with the Athlete's Foot in Atlanta. Let me introduce you to what might become your new best friend. All right, it's an app called Notion. I started using it because I felt like I was juggling way too much, right? From personal projects, work, podcasting, budgeting. It was just like way too much. But Notion has become a game changer for me. All right, it's an all-in-one workplace that allows me to plan, write, organize, and collaborate with ease. Essentially, I like to say it takes the chaos in my mind and puts it in one place where I can streamline my whole entire workflow. So if you want to check it out, check the comments, the description. There's a link where you could go ahead and set up your free trial and check it out today. All right, now back to the show. All right, y'all, we are back. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Cassidy, you're doing some really incredible stuff. I didn't get to make it to some of the events you've done in the past few weeks, but I've seen the pictures and it looks really cool. I'm very impressed. It looks exciting. I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I'm at the next one. Yeah. But a few weeks ago, you did a collaboration with Nike called Nothing Beats the City. It took place in Atlanta. It was this event celebrating sneaker culture, and the whole energy just kind of put on display, kind of represented the city and kind of gave everyone a taste for kind of what this is. But you had some influencers out, revealed some innovative sneaker designs, and it just looked like a really dope event, like kind of just culturally in tune, and also just sharing like some of the things that you've been doing. So can you talk to us a little bit about kind of what that event is and really why it's important to curate events in local communities?
For sure. So just starting with what that event was. And so you're right. It was a collaboration with Nike, and we were so excited to partner with them on that event, our Nothing Beats the City event. Super cool event. It was actually, they launched a new silhouette. So it's called the City Silhouette. Mm-hmm. And so we were able to really just create a campaign, a visual campaign for social, then also a live activation that not only just display the innovative design of the City sneaker, showcasing both the safety cone and the skyline silhouette. We were able to showcase them both. But like I said, just really bring together an immersive opportunity for the community. And it wasn't just to showcase the shoe, right? It is to cultivate the community in the city and what that looks like for the athlete's foot and the spirit of the city. So really, it's always great in order to bring people together for activations like this. One, because it's fun. You have those cool photo moments. You have those displays. You have those build outs. And then two, you just have the energy, right? You have the energy of it. You have the culture. You have the who's who in those communities. You have the people who are, again, like I was saying before, they put themselves in those spaces to meet the right people, to meet the people who can become their tribe. And so it's always cool to see, being in the sneaker industry, going to other events as well. It's always cool to see the traveling attendees, right? You know who's going to be there. You know who's not going to be, or who might be there, right? You never know. But it's cool just to see how we're able to do that. But specifically to this Nothing Beats the City campaign, which was again a social media campaign, which we were able to highlight KO of ATATF, and we were also to highlight Will 404 Global, which is also a very special partnership, which I'm happy to go into why that was special. But these influencers were selected because they are the doers. You know, the campaign was put together to feature or to showcase the doers of the city, to showcase the people who are living in their personalities' frills, right? Who every single talent that they have, they're doing it, or they're using it to elevate themselves and their communities, or to educate, or to just be a part of. They are literally immersing themselves in everything that they ever dreamed of and living it and showing us how to do it. And so these two individuals, not only as influencers, but they're pillars. You know, like we talk about Atlanta, you talk about, you know, the grind city and getting it done. I mean, they are, you know, they're not just getting it done here, they're getting it done honestly globally. 404 Global, he's everywhere, you know. So it was really cool to have them a part of this, and the brand to recognize that this was important and something to do for the city, and to bring the city together to you know, to enjoy it. It's always just a good time. So activations like this, this is not the first one. This is not the last one. I'm definitely planning on more for our Monroe stores and our other locations, to bring together community, to bring together impact, to show people what's being done, what can be done, and what you can do, to be inspired, to connect those dots, you know, to bring fashion and style into it, because that's about it. That's what it's about too. Let's be honest. It's about fashion. It's about style, because then that's also how you develop your personal brand, because how you show up, you know, how you're showing up in the community is how you feel about yourself. And if you want to step in as a whatever your career is, or your entrepreneurial path is, you have to show up as yourself. And these type of events and curating these types of events gives our community and our audience the opportunity to show up as their authentic selves, and gives them that platform. Even if they're not getting photographed or creating content, you're still getting a platform to meet the person who is, and that could come into collaboration, you know, opportunity. Or you not to toot any horn, but maybe you met me at one of our events, right?
Your horn. Toot your horn.
But I'm just saying, but let's just say we met at the event, right? And I was like, oh, you know what? I got a photo shoot coming up. You look like you might can fit some clothes I got going on, like your look or whatever. Now you're in a national campaign, you know? So it's just like putting yourself in those type of spaces is what it's all about.
Mm-hmm. I like
getting your audience face to face. You know, I want to see you. I want to meet you.
Yeah, being together. That's something interesting. Another thing about Atlanta, this is very easy to meet people. Kind of back to what you were saying before about showing up. It's kind of what that's all about. But I love that you put this together in a way that allowed both to kind of celebrate the doers, as you say. And I love the way you describe that to all any influencers and creators listening and watching. And that's a pro tip right there. Are you a doer? But also created something where people could just come up who are fans or followers or just love fashion, could come and be a part of this as well. It's like not a hierarchy type of thing. I love that.
And I think just to piggyback on what you just said, it's not a hierarchy. I want to see you all. I want everybody to come, because I've been that. You know, we've all been that person, a small fry, right? I'm just trying to get into the community. I'm trying to understand what's going on, how to move, how to be. And you need these little, I would say, low-hanging fruit opportunities that are less stress. It's just kind of like a vibe. Come vibe with us. Come see what it's actually like. Like, it's not uptight. Like, we're here. And then the other thing I think is what makes our location, our Midtown location with the Athletes Foot, so cool and exclusive. You'll see once you walk up on us one day. But we're kind of like a nook. We're like in a niche area. We're in like a kind of, I like to think it was like a sneaker dungeon, if you will. It's not underground, but you know, it's kind of like one of those, if you know, exclusive. We're back here. You know, we got all the drops, we got all of that. And because we do have that, you know, our hosting space, you know, our garage area, our bar area and all of that, it makes it feel more like, let's hang out. You know, let's chit chat. Let's just vibe. We can shop for sure. Let's definitely shop, because we got all of that. We got all the vibe. We got all the drops. Everything you're looking for. We got the hot. Okay, it's in here. Okay. But it's more than that, right? It's about connecting, which makes us different from other retailers, because we are a franchise model, right? So we're able to be in different communities, in different spaces, to have those different relationships. So yeah, that's what makes us, a little different. That.
Definitely different because another thing that you did that I was like, oh wow, y'all really about this life. You ran a voter registration event, and this is something campaign in Atlanta, New Orleans, North Carolina,
Yep.
all around getting people excited to vote. It's the Be About That Vote
Yep.
campaign, and I thought that's incredible. Like especially with this election being such a just a intense dynamic one. It's like it's a lot of different ways you could go, and I think in a lot of years a lot of people just kind of opted out of voting, but I'm seeing more people wanting to be involved, and I love that y'all did this to actually support people with getting involved in however they can. So what inspired y'all to organize this initiative? Because the ones are like the one that you were just talking about, that seems like obviously very in line with everything you're doing. But this one, it's like y'all didn't have to do this at all. So can you talk to me about kind of the decisions to put this event on?
Mm-hmm. I would say we didn't have to, but we had to, right? Because we are so community focused, because we are so in touch with our audience and want to be more in touch with them, and we have these conversations in relationship, we have to. Because what affects you affects us. And we have to look, I feel like brands need to look at things like that because it is essential for brands like the Athlete's Foot to take a stand on issues like this. Voter registration, it's a unique opportunity that we have and we are afforded to be able to connect with our audience in these special ways. From, like I said, we're a franchise model. From store to store, you can meet the owner. You can have those conversations. You can talk to the owner. You can talk to the employees. Like, it's just a different environment. And so I feel like bringing in campaigns like this that can be controversial. A lot of brands don't want to touch. It's a little too hot. But I feel like voter registration is a right. Right? Being fly is a right. So I feel like if we just bring light to it, that it's an importance, something to do. Maybe it's not something you thought about. Maybe it's something that you didn't think that you need to be a part of. I think you should reconsider. And I feel like a gentle reminder from a brand that you support, gentle. A reminder from a brand that you support, I think it'd also be very impactful and progressive. So that's what it's always about, being progressive, initiating the conversation. We don't have to go too deep, but we're just initiating the conversation, putting initiative forward, making sure the details, when voter registration, early voting is over, when tomorrow is the day to vote, just gentle reminders so that you can stay in the loop and stay involved, and so that it may spark something else in you. That conversation. It could turn from, maybe I should vote. Maybe I should think about this. And then you get on Google and get down a rabbit hole. And now it sparks something in you, so you never know what those touch points are going to spark in people or ignite. And so just showing up as a brand that has the platform to show the importance, it's just going to do a little bit more light to it. And I think that's okay.
I love that. I think it is okay. You know what else? I don't think a lot of people talk about this. Obviously the presidential election is happening, but on every single election on that ballot are certain bills that you can vote on as well. And I'll be honest, y'all, I showed up to vote one time and I was like, I don't know what this bill means. I don't know. I'm gonna vote this way. I'm screwing something up. My bad. So yeah, I think like as much time people could take to just understand things just a little bit more, so you could just be as informed as to best represent your interests. I think that's important. I love that y'all are doing that. Love it.
Yeah.
So kind of speak about progress and everything. I want to kind of bring it back to you. I'm very curious because you're someone very driven, right? You seem like someone who kind of, you know where you want to go. Like I think you mentioned with your dad who taught you, work the plan. So I would love to know what's something that you would love to achieve in the next 5 years, 10 years. I just really want to hear what's one of your goals for your own journey.
I saw that question. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. but I mean, because there's so many things. One of my last goals in life. Okay, I have a lot of goals. One of the last ones is to not leave this place without touching every talent or anything that I ever thought of that I wanted to do. I had better at least put my toe in the water. So, with that being said, I am a very expressive person, and I do love art. I've mentioned that earlier. I definitely love art. So tapping into my art, taking it more seriously, and I have been doing that, is something that I definitely expect from myself to have done more within the next 5 years. It's about expression, because I believe that art is healing. I feel like it's healing for me. Really, it's healing for me, and it's healing for other people. And I think it's interesting to allow people the opportunity to try to get into your head. So I know when I've gone to some visuals or some art galleries and displays, and just people asking me, when I'm showing off my work, and then just, were you thinking about this? Were you thinking about this? I'm like, kinda.
Sure.
But I was a little bit more angry than that. You know what I'm saying? Or, it was a little bit more deeper than that, or whatever it is. But I think that being able to create more immersive experiences, or just more engaging experiences, because I'm a very private person, definitely on social media, but allowing people other opportunities to tap into me, tap into what's going on in my brain, and just through art, I think is what you can see. It's what you'll be safe to see.
I love that. Okay, so now I gotta ask, how can we support you on that mission? I love a good art gallery, so I'm gonna show up. But what's the best way that we could all kind of support you?
I think the best way to support me is to tap in on my personal website. But I don't know if I could do that here. But that would be great. I would say follow me on social media. That's a great segue. And I would say at She's a Dandy _ so SHESADANDY _ that would be great, and see all the things, all the stuff and things there.
I love it. We'll make sure that's in there. We'll make sure any and all links are in the description of the show notes on the website, so people could follow you, everything you're doing over at the Athlete's Foot, and everything you're doing, your own personal journey. I love it. I feel like I'm speaking to you at the perfect time, because I've been I'm mentoring and discovering my own style and everything. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to keep checking out the store, see what's going on, as I kind of learn what I like and what interests me. So I love it. Thank you so much for your time today. Is there anything else you would love to share with people before we head out?
I just want everybody to stay encouraged. Stay encouraged, and keep a smile on. I know that sounds corny, but honestly do. Because when you show up with that smile, even though it feels the way it is, it makes you feel better. And I'll just, just a little something. Beyonce does it. It's an interview out there. Yes, it's an interview out there. Beyonce is literally talking about how she has an RBF, which I suffer from that as well. But she has an RBF, and she really had to train herself to always have that smile on. So whenever you see Beyonce, she always kind of got she always kind of got a little...
She got a resting smile face.
She got a resting smile face, but it's because she was cognizant and reflective on her journey, who she is and who she wants to be, to not let the outside perceptions dampen her, to not let them hold you down, let them hold you back. You got to show up for yourself. You got to do it for you. You got to do it for you, for the little you inside. How upset would you be if you didn't make, at least touch all your goals when you 80 years old, 90 years old, laying in the bed? You wish you coulda, woulda. Nah, we don't want to do that.
Can't go rock climbing at 90. I mean, be true. Actually, let me take that back.
You can do whatever you want to do. And that might be the goal. I'm rock climbing at 90. But if so, then you got to make sure that everything between 1 to 89 is going to make sure that at 90 you can do that. So do your stretches. Make sure you eat, make sure you're eating the right things. But it's just do it for you. Make sure you touch all your talents. Anything you ever dreamed of, imagine that you want to do, please do it. You don't want any regrets in this life. And if you have any regrets in this life, you're still alive, so you got time to change it.
Still alive.
You still here. So that's what I got.
Ooh, it's a mic drop, y'all. Cassie, appreciate you. For everyone tuning in, make sure you're following everything that she's doing, both Athlete's Foot and her own journey. Doing incredible stuff. And yeah, thank you all for listening. The Working While Black show, bringing you stories from people like Cassidy who are, survive and thrive and live in, experiencing the ups and downs of life, but going on this journey of growth and entrepreneurship. And I'm so grateful to you and all of our guests who are coming in to share kind of what they've been through and how they've gone through it. Because I think that this show, the reason why I created was so that we don't have to feel alone. Like, we're all going through similar things. And the more we kind of tell these stories, like, it's okay, we can be connected and share different solutions. So make sure to check back when we drop new episodes. But until then, thank you all, and we will catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.